real.
From the gridiron to the airwaves, it's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll, Tide, roll!
Roll, Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. It is the sound of Bama sports, your show, your team. That's right. You can get in on the conversation, maniacs. Get in on it this morning on the Empowerment Training and Consulting Hotline, 205-342-9904. Once again, stop whatever you're doing. I'm waiting. All right, 205-342-9904. That's how you get in the traditional way. The rest of you, if you're driving, use voice-activated texting. If you're sitting in front of your computer, type it out. Type it out. Jump in on the conversation, maniacs. It is a Tuesday morning. We're going to bring back an old tradition. Since we have DC on, we're going to do a little deal, no deal in the program. And we did not put the grenade out there yesterday with Kennington, but I am going to throw a grenade in the show today, Simeon. Maybe it won't explode. Maybe it's a dud. Maybe the pen was left in. But we're going to ask DC his thoughts on 5 for 5. For those of you who missed it, like P. Fields, we missed P. Fields. He's back from vacay. So welcome back. We've missed all of you just since yesterday. But we'll have to set that stage up as well. So, and then several other topics we'll get to. Coach DeBoer talking about feeling like Ty's a great fit, at the Rams and why. And I 100% agree. Him and Keenan got to keep their Alabama number, so you don't have to look very far. 15 and 96 will be wearing Rams jerseys. Those are only two numbers I saw come out yesterday. Also, SEC tournament starting. Alabama, the number 2 seed. And they may end up with the pitcher of the year, so we'll track that. That would be an awesome accomplishment. I guess sort of like football. What win in football still wins today? The ability to run the ball. And pitching still wins in softball, but it's good to have somebody that can change a game with one swing. Alabama found a couple of those this year. So lots of other conversations to get to. Maniacs, you know that you're always available to get in on the conversation, and we'll get DC's thoughts on why the state may be resistant to Pat's question yesterday in regards to getting scholarships. I mean, not scholarships, just waiving out-of-state tuition potentially for baseball players. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about defense in the deal, no deal, and what Womac's feeling. Remember this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Sim. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Doing good. Doing good.
Good. Good morning, DC. How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing fine, Martin. Good morning, Simeon. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning.
All right. Oh man. Oh, Samuel Pittman bringing up the quarterback, Kalen DeBoer. We're gonna get to that. The quarterback whisperer. Somebody on this team is a quarterback whisperer, and other than the guy who may win the job, all of them are 6'5" or taller. I think so. He definitely. You know how they say about girls. She got a type. And they must have a type over there. And if you're not that type, you have to be extremely elite. We'll work that back into the conversation, Simeon. DC, yesterday we'll hit a couple rapid fire topics with you that Simeon and I talked about yesterday, and one from last week that Xavier and I had intense fellowship over. Uh, 505, 5 for 5. But real quick, DC, what's your thoughts on this Alabama softball team and what Coach has been able to do a year, 2 years ago for sure? People were beginning to call for his head. Now, Alabama, had there not been the reigning softball version of University of Alabama under Saban come into our league along with Texas, how good would Alabama softball be this year?
Yeah, I think a great job by Coach Murphy. I mean, people were questioning his ability anymore and wondering if it was the time to move on and all those sort of things just a couple of years ago. But you've really seen his ability to adapt to the game, and I think bringing in some players that have some big bats that can help up the offense, and then you have a good pitcher. And pitching still wins in most times in softball and baseball. So probably got the reigning SEC pitcher of the year. If she doesn't make it, it'll be no. I wouldn't be able to tell you why based on what she's done this year. So Christie's done a great job. They played really good defense, and they've got some speed and some power. So that's the combination that you want. And this year he's put together a great team and done a good coaching job. Won some close games as well. So had a good coaching job during those close games as well. So I'm proud of Coach Murphy and what the girls have done. Second only to Oklahoma, and it was only a game back there for a while, and just really pleased with what they've done. They got a good chance in the SEC tournament. I think second seed, and really definitely a good chance in the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. And Jocelyn Brisk winning her third, pitcher of the week, which is the most in the league this year. And she is it's anticipated that she will be the pitcher of the year. I guess potential player of the year. If you're pitcher of the year, you definitely have a chance for that. In the SEC against the bats, you have to go against day in and day out. All right, baseball getting a sweep from the weekend. First time in Vanderbilt. 2 series left. What do they have to do to host a regional? If they split these two, do you think they're potentially hosting a regional this year?
Yeah, I think if they split them, if they sweep one and split one, I think for sure they're hosting. If they split both of them, I think they're gonna. If they win 2 or 3 on each one of them, I think they're gonna be in the regional. They'd have to have a really crater the last, lose both series to be out. I think they've shown enough during the year on a body of work of how good they can be, and that's the question of this team, right? Are they that good or are they that bad? Sometimes that's the way it is when you watch this team play. But really came on in the last series against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt not long ago was the reigning champion of the SEC in baseball, and so it seems like they were on in this last series. And if they can do that in the last 2 series, I think they got a good chance to host a regional, which would be a great accomplishment for Rob Vaughn. I think what he's put together and got a real young team this year. Done a really good job, I think.
DC, Pat had a really good question yesterday, and we wanted to wait to get your answer today because of your background. But when Pat asked the question, why did KIV or anybody else not sign into agreement that the out-of-state baseball players can get in-state tuition because all the states surrounding us either have a lottery or at least have that out-of-state tuition waived for the players that want to come to the college. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think probably at least our governor has probably given us some advice as to not to do that in this day and time with a litigious society and other people who are out of state being treated differently than the baseball players. I think there's other ways to do it. You know, like other surrounding schools have other ways to supplement, give money to baseball players that other people are eligible for as well. And I think it would probably call into question if only baseball players were eligible for that type of waiver of out-of-state tuition. And I think that's probably why they told her not to sign it or why she doesn't want to sign it, that kind of legislation.
Yeah, I told him I was not a legal scholar, and just so happened the night before the question I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn. But Simeon, you know what that means, Simeon?
I've heard it a lot, but I just assume you learned a lot of things at a Holiday Inn. That's what I got from it.
There used to be a commercial that said, "I'm not a doctor, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night." So
Holiday Inn Express commercial.
Yeah, it's funny. But anyway, every time I give an opinion that I'm really not qualified for, I always use that. That's why you heard it a lot.
My nephew is notorious when he was young, riding in the car with my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and heard them talking up front, and they kept asking directions on where to go before UPS, and they both kept saying, "Well, I just don't know, and he said he spoke up from the back car seat and said, "Well, if y'all stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night, y'all know."
That's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's a great liner for when you should know something, or if you pretend like you know something that you really aren't an expert. But I figured it was just too much of a risk, DC, and you kind of confirmed it with the litigious society that we have in terms of sue for anything, and then the sympathy of many jurors to sometimes make some decisions that you're like, wow, never saw that coming. But I just think it's 3 times the state tuition is just too much of a risk when you have probably 16 to 17,000 people out of state, with a percentage of those being scholarships, but a huge percent of those people paying 3 times the tuition that in-state people do. It's a moneymaker. It would be the equivalent of the SEC doing something to put the TV money at risk.
Yes, it would be. And I just don't. I'm not saying that they would win, but I'm saying there's a chance, and the chance sometimes is enough to get you to not do something because you don't want to have risk the chance of that. Yeah, that's a large amount of money for the universities, especially Alabama and Auburn, the 2 in-state universities. It's a large amount of money that would be at risk if you did something like that.
Absolutely.
There's other ways the legislature could supplement scholarships that give people abilities to do that and make it uniform across the board. But I don't think that's in the cards either. I don't think they'll risk losing that kind of money.
Right. Yep. And of course, I'm not for a lottery, but there may be other ways. There's plenty of money. All we need to do is do like we're finding out around the country. There's probably some abuse, waste, and fraud happening in every government, because when it's not your money, you don't spend it like it's your money. So we probably could find some money to help. We'll be back on the other side. We have a couple more questions. We're going to get DC's thoughts on the 5 for 5 eligibility ruling that's lingering out there. We're going to do a little deal, no deal, bringing back some old school fun for the maniacs that we haven't done in a while. So let's go. Let's go. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic. Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this terrific Tuesday. We are getting off to a terrific start. If you're traveling on 2059, you have no worries there. Just watch out for the road construction on the eastbound lanes between Foster's and Joe Malisham in Foster's, of course. And we do have ongoing road work in Coker on Highway 82, both east and westbound between Bill George Road and Shelley Hughes Road. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Weather brought to you by Tidwell Chiropractic, the only third-generation chiropractor with over 28 years experience in Tuscaloosa. Call Tidwell Chiropractic at 752-7503.
More for your budget at Townsend Nissan. Rogue Platinum, $288 a month. Sentra, $199 a month. And take $5,000 off a new Nissan Frontier. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
When you hear a good deal, it's natural to do a double take. That's what you might do when you hear Discover will automatically double all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a hospitality manager at a 5-star hotel.
So I just checked into room 318, but someone was in there.
Room 318. Oh, you were supposed to be booked in 813, which is now booked.
So what do we do?
How about rock, paper, scissors for who gets the bed?
This is the time for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Hey friends, it's Christy with Christy's Boutique inside Irvin's Work in Western. Mother's Day is right around the corner and we'd love to help you find the perfect gift. At Christy's Boutique, we carry a little bit of everything that women love, from stylish clothing and accessories to faith-filled gifts and more. And guys, while you're shopping at Irvin's, you can pick up a thoughtful gift or grab a gift card. We even offer gift wrapping to make it easy for you. So come shop with us. We can't wait to help you celebrate the amazing women in your life.
And as always, tell them Van the Bootman sent you.
The Fiesta is on, and the winnings are hot. Get ready for the Fiesta of Cash at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino. Fridays and Saturdays in May, 7 to 11 p.m. You could score up to $2,500 in cash. Big prizes, fast action, non-stop excitement. It's the $65,000 Fiesta of Cash at Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The sky partially sunny today, the high 79. For tonight, mostly fair with a low at 64. Tomorrow, increasingly cloudy and breezy, the chance of a shower by afternoon. Thunderstorms are likely tomorrow night. Those could be severe, the high 81. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 56 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, welcome back to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We have DC with us today. Before we get into the deal or no deal, DC, we got one more question for you. Last week, Dan and Xavier got into a little bit of a tussle. Thought we were gonna need, a boxing ring for a second just to get it over with, but we were talking about 5 for 5. The NCAA is starting to move towards signing a rule into effect where it gives It gets rid of the red shirt, gets rid of the medical red shirt and all the additional years. It gives you 5 years to play 5 years. What are your thoughts on that, DC?
Well, I guess I didn't get to hear the struggle that was between X and Martin. So, what what was the gist of their
Well,
positions?
well, I'll let you explain your side.
Well,
Yes, explain your side, Martin.
Yeah, I tell you, I give you the short of it. I think I love 5 for 5. Because it doesn't change the age or unfair advantage at all. All it's doing is something that happened in high school where they start letting eighth graders and ninth graders play up. You know, it didn't really change that many things for most people. Gave some smaller schools access to a few more players for a little bit longer. Same thing in college. I love the age. I mean, the 5 for 5. I wasn't any older after redshirting, so but almost lost my red shirt, DC, because I had to travel when we played Tennessee my freshman year, my red shirt year. Fortunately, I didn't have to play and got that year back. I mean, got to keep that year. We've seen guys lose red shirts. So I love it. The only thing I said is they need to have an age component with it. And my initial thought was it starts when you graduate high school. I mean, it's just like, or when you graduate high school, whether you're 18 or 19, and you have 5 years to play. If you decide to go do something else and come back, your clock still started. Xavier wanted to say that the military, him and Tim Coggins, I'm messing with Tim if he's listening this morning, that the military should get an exception. And my argument was if you give an exception for that, everybody has a valid reason why their exception should work. Like, the Mormon church, which requires them to do a 2-year thing. It's just part of it. You make choices, you make decisions, and that was my stance on it.
Yeah, I like the 5 for 5. I like to no worry about the medical red shirt, the red shirt years. I like that. You get 5 years, play 5 years. I think that's.
And if you get hurt, you get hurt. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I mean
that's just part of ball, right? Part of athletics. You get hurt, you get hurt. But I think that's a better rule in that it's nothing's left for determination. Everybody knows what the rules are. Now, I understand X's position about the military, and I understand about other things, but here's my position. I align closer to yours in that if you're going to put an age requirement, there should be no exceptions. When you start giving exceptions, you weaken the rule. It becomes more arguable, if you will. But if you have a hard, fast set rule, 5 for 5, then everybody has to play by those rules. Once you start giving exceptions for this group or that group or this thing or that thing, then it becomes a watered down rule, just like we have now, that everybody can argue, what's what. So I like the 5 for 5. I don't necessarily think there has to be a age, but if we put an age on it, then I would say there would be no exceptions.
Okay, here's the thing, DC. What's the difference then if you don't have an age limit, then you still end up with part of what we had already. And as Xavier said, well, we've always had that. People have always been able to go to the military. That's right. But college sports is not a right. It's a choice. If you don't have an age, because I chose to go, then junior college, and I understand the argument. Junior college is not D1 football. It's not. It's a different beast. So do you now not count their 2 years? Do you not count prep school? So even if you don't put an age in there, you still end up with some potential things in there, because if I make a choice to go do something else, my clock doesn't start. Then I can come back and I still get 5 years. So, I that's why I said I like the age limit thing. And unfortunately, it's just, I mean, like you and I used it on him. I said, if a guy is in the military or somebody decides that 39 or 40, they want to go to the military. 40, they can't because there's an age thing. There are certain jobs and responsibilities you have to retire. Um, just and it used to be that across the board. You remember the days back when people turned 65, DC, they had to get out of there. But
Yeah.
so in college sports, I think it's okay because you have the maturation. I having played and know how much my body changed, and had I been going back to college my first year that I was in the NFL, I do think I would have got a huge leap forward even in my maturity at 23, 24, especially amongst men's sports because of the way we were mature.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, I agree with you. I think I go down your side rather than X's. I know it's probably not popular among the military people or other people want exceptions, but anytime you put exceptions in, it's going to be it's going to weaken the rule because it gives everybody a chance to argue for their exception.
Yeah. And Simeon, you can read what Jacob had to say. And that's why I told Xavier, when someone else gets in power, DC, and like if Xavier's in charge, he favors military. The next person who's in charge may favor some totally different group. And then another person gets in charge and they favor a different group. That's why we have the mess we have now, is because everybody made an argument for the exception. And once they started accepting this medical thing and this one, they were inconsistent and it was just bad. It's a mess right now. Any improvement would be better. I will say that.
I agree.
I would say a 5 for 5 with an age with an exception is better than the mess we have now. But I hope they don't make the exception thing as a general rule. Simeon,
Yeah, I mean, like I said last week, because they were so like liberal and just like willy nilly with it now, you have to be on the other side just as strict to get back to the middle. Because I mean, it's a free for all now. I don't even know how you even get to the point where you can be in college for 9 years and you get approved. Like I don't even know how the NCAA thinks that's fair and okay. Like
because
I
no one
understand
wants
he
to
was
say no.
hurt. That's what like I understand he got hurt for several years, but like you shouldn't be working. You shouldn't have your doctorate degree. You shouldn't have your PhD when you're in college playing
Sport,
football.
right? And that's the thing. College, I get. Sports is different. Sports is not a right or a privilege. I mean, it's a privilege and not a guarantee. But if I want to go to college and pay for it to go to college and do it, that's totally different. That's Martin's opinion. So Jacob Powell said, if you want to go military, go after your football career is up, or go, as Simeon said, DC. If you want to be in the military, go to one of the academies.
And try to go play football there.
You try to play football there. There is a benefit to going after college because of becoming an officer. So, advantage to the officers, right? To those who play. Real quick thoughts, DC, as we get to break. I had not read it, but Jacob Powell said we know Greg Stanky. That was his words, not mine. Hasn't pushed back on A&M getting the G League player. I've been waiting for him to write an affidavit like he did against Bama, but I haven't heard anything. Thoughts on that, DC?
Yeah, I think he hasn't done anything. He did come out the other day and speak on the Bediako situation. He did say a few things about it was not about Alabama. It was about the situation that the NCAA had created, and that's why it was done. And but he didn't go so far as to kind of back Alabama in that. But he did say that he understood why it was done, because it wasn't about that situation. It was about the liberal giving of other players, coming into the league, and that and he understood why it was done. He just never went ahead and doubled down, and he didn't go the other way, or he didn't go Alabama's way either. He tried to stay in the middle, and that's what he does. He tries to play the middle as being the leader of the SEC. He said a lot of things in the interview.
Yeah, and he's also making sure he doesn't do anything to sabotage being the power broker if the post NCAA has a NFL style commissioner. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be the one that has blown up college sports.
Right.
And so, you know, that to me, I think is the other thing. And the other part, he has also walked the line of everybody else is letting G League players in, so he doesn't want to come out against that directly, um, because he would put his teams at a disadvantage over the other conferences. I mean,
And he's trying to walk the line of about he has 14 schools, so he's trying to not prefer one over the other.
Yeah. Yep. So, and then prefer his conference. Make sure he doesn't do anything to default his conference to a weaker position when it comes to that. So, we'll be back on the other side. We'll transition to a little deal, no deal. Get DC's thoughts on a couple other things as well. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this terrific Tuesday. We are getting off to a terrific start. If you're traveling on 2059, you have no worries there. Just watch out for the road construction on the eastbound lanes between Foster's and Joe Malisham in Foster's, of course. And we do have ongoing road work in Coker on Highway 82, both east and westbound between Bill George Road and Shelley Hughes Road. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Hey guys, you're guaranteed to make mom smile this Mother's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers. They have roses, all kinds of floral arrangements, and fresh cut flowers, stuffed animals, and balloons. They make it easy. Call 345-3074. Tell them what you're looking for and they'll deliver it for you. You can also pick it up at Stephanie's Flowers at 514 Hargrove Road East in Tuscaloosa. Make her smile on Mother's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers, 345-3074.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price as 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
All right, welcome back to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. We have DC with us today. Dad, we said we're going to get into some deal or no deal. This is something that you've done in the past. Not as much as since I've been on the show. So can't wait to get into the deal or no deal.
No doubt. Welcome back in. One of the things that we do to try to separate ourselves is kind of give you an inside scoop from what some of the other shows do. So with spring practice kind of being in the books, fall camp on the horizon, we're kind of in that no man's land of what to talk about. Fortunately, with recruiting, you do get some stories, but one of the old things that I did many moons ago before I had more help, and even did it with Xavier, was deal, no deal. So I wanted to bring that back. DC's done that a little bit. So our first question is just kind of a deal, no deal. We break it down. Alabama, first question regarding the quarterback one clarity, QB1 clarity. Y'all ready? Maniacs, you ready? Want to get your thoughts as well. Deal, no deal. Alabama must leave fall camp with a clear QB1, no rotation, to be a legit SEC contender. Okay? So I'm going to repeat that one more time, give you a chance to think on it a little bit. Alabama must leave fall camp with a clear QB1, no rotation in terms of this whole two quarterback scheme, to be a legit SEC contender. DC.
First of all, you love starting with the most polarizing. Just mention quarterback, and you're gonna get so many comments one way or the other based on the glasses of which they're looking through.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an Austin Mack supporter, you're gonna get those. If you're a Keelan Russell supporter, you're gonna get those. And so then, but you ask it in a way that they're going to be able to share their opinion one way or the other, right?
Right.
That's a great question, Martin. You've done a really good job setting it up. So the answer is deal or no deal. You take that as the deal, or you say no, that's no deal. That's not what's going to happen, right? So
right.
Simeon knows how we play this little game here. So I can take both sides and argue either one of them, but I'll go out on a limb and I'll say no deal, that we can still have no clear-cut winner and still be a SEC and national championship contender.
I'm going to say no deal as well, because it's happened in the past where, AJ McCarron, AJ McCarron, Phillip Sims, there was no clear cut. And then with Jalen Hurts and Blake Barnett, those two just in recent history where they weren't the clear cut starter, and they went on to have, great Alabama careers. So I don't think it has to be that way. The way that Coach DeBoer talks, it didn't appear that he knows which way it's going to go. And granted, it's still 3 months out from the season, but these guys are ballers, so they're not just going to give up.
I'm gonna check our.
And don't forget Jake Coker.
I'm gonna check our Alabama fan. Other than AJ's second and third year as a starter, and Bryce Young in his time, when did we have a clear cut, no questions asked, number one quarterback under Saban?
Yeah, I don't think we did. I mean, look back at Jake Coker. That's a national championship run there, and there was a question there.
He didn't name Tua. I mean, he didn't name Jalen the starter. Did
No,
he?
Mac Jones.
Even when Jalen was freshman of the year, the conversation was still, is Tua going to beat him out?
Yeah, Mac Jones and Bryce Young, I guess, was still a question when Mac Jones came in at the end of the season and did not do that well against Auburn. So
yeah, like we all knew Mac was kind of going to be the starter, but Mac was still like, okay, looking over his shoulder, and the question was clear cut. Number one, right? Not a guy that's not the guy that takes the first snap. McElroy had it his second year after being started, right? After winning a national title, right? Right?
Yeah.
No. Right? Was that? Yeah, it was after his when AJ got it after coming back and being a starter. Jalen Milroe got it after winning a championship, an SEC championship. Bryce got it his sophomore year and junior year. I think all other times we came into the season going, who's going to be our starting quarterback? Saban would not name a starter.
Yeah, we were playing, in the Jake Coker season, we were playing multiple quarterbacks, and he didn't really actually take the reins until, several games in, right? Ole Miss, right?
He the game he won the starting job, he came off the bench.
Well, in an SEC game, right?
Yeah.
So that's 4 games into the season.
Huh?
Yeah, didn't Cooper Bateman get absolutely rocked that game?
Yeah.
And it was just after that, it was
Cooper's
job.
But we do have a couple people. Jacob Powell said, wow, that's a tough one. But then he said, I would say deal. So he says quarterback confidence is key. So he says you need to have a clear-cut starter. Corey Lewis said deal, that's easy. And I'll give you my thoughts on it. I think in today's environment, QB and quarterback is different than it was. I will say in today's game, it's different, guys. And part of that difference is because these guys, part of it wasn't just the quarterback. I mean, the team, it was the quarterbacks weren't best friends and didn't get along and all that. So if you name one guy, if you had 2 guys, you had issues. These guys are so used to 7-on-7, growing up with each other, knowing each other, playing with each other, spending time together. I don't think you have that thing. I think you could go into this season with both of those guys still battling for the job. Now, do I think you can be halfway through the season and not have a clear cut? I mean, a few games in and not have a clear cut guy? I don't think so. I think this team will have to. I think this team will be able to overcome not having a clear cut guy. Jacob Powell says guys will leave. They can't leave once the season starts. So
they can't leave now anyway. They can't leave.
They can't leave
anywhere now anyway.
Yeah,
right.
There's no spring, and there's no more window of transfer, right?
The roster is the roster until December, and guys could leave whether you have a clear cut one or you have a dual threat system. So I would like to know.
And I think the first game of the season, with it being Eastern Carolina, I think that is, no offense to Eastern Carolina, Alabama, whoever's the quarterback, should go out and dominate and win this game by multiple scores. So I think this is a very good game to at least be some type of gauge on how they are against live, competition.
And AJ McCarron should have won 3 national titles. Let's be real. He should have quarterbacked 3 national titles where he was the quarterback. Not just on the team, but the quarterback. But they lost one. And he was battling against to be the starter all the way up until the Penn State game, which was, I think, the 3rd game of the season. we didn't have a clear-cut starter till after the third game of the season that year. So I think a battle can be fine. I think it's a different time. Competition is good, and in this case, I think it'll just make them both better. But we'll see what they do. Now, I didn't say they would name a starter. I said clear cut, and that's two different questions. Next question. Let's go ahead and get the break. We'll have another question. Y'all want me to go ahead and give it to you so you can be thinking on it?
Yeah, go ahead and give it.
All right. Alabama has to become a physical run first football team to win the SEC in 2026. Deal, no deal. We'll be back on the other side.
Tuesday edition of the game. We'll talk to Mike Detillier, WWL, the Big 870. We're also going to have a chance to make another SEC bus stop. We'll do that in Austin, Texas. We'll get the latest on the Texas Longhorns, a post-spring reminder. Right here, starting at 2 p.m. on The Game with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest-running sports talk show in Tuscaloosa. The Game with Ryan Fowler. Weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC. And streaming worldwide on the free Tide app.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Tuesday morning. Here's one of the top stories we're following for you this hour, brought to you by Spiller Furniture and Mattress. Alabama's special session began Monday afternoon to set a contingency plan for the state to revert to previously drawn district maps. That is, if the U.S. Supreme Court and the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta grant emergency requests from state leaders. The special session starting less than a week after the U.S. Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision struck down Louisiana's second majority black district. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Still a very early ride for you, and your commute is still very clear. 2059 looking good from McFarland to Joe Malisham. All nice on Lurleen Wallace as you make your moves in between 5th and McFarland and even beyond. And it's wide open on McFarland, speaking of which, and that is in both directions between 5th and 43 and even beyond that as well. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
More for your budget at Townsend Nissan. Rogue Platinum, $288 a month. Sentra, $199 a month. And take $5,000 off a new Nissan Frontier. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea. Visit them online at tacocasa.com. That's tacocasa.com. Quality, taste, and value on the biggest cactus in town. That's Taco Casa, tacocasa.com.
If you have an unsightly crack on the walkway leading up to your house, maybe your front porch or your back patio, take care of it. It's affordable. Our friends at APS will do that for you. Alabama Professional Services, 4th-generation family business. They will come over. They'll do a free inspection. Again, affordable. Get a free estimate from APS. Contact them at alabamaprofessional.com. alabamaprofessional.com. They'll also take care of any problems you got with a damp crawl space or a crack in your foundation. They even do pest control and lawn care. Full service Alabama Professional Services at alabamaprofessional.com.
If you're looking for a golf cart or repairs to yours, stop by Dixie Custom Carts on Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa. They sell Club Car, Donago, and Atlas golf carts. They can customize it to your specifications with a lift, tires, wheels, and lights. Dixie Custom Carts also carries a full line of parts and accessories, including chargers, windshields, hitches, Bluetooth kits, and so much more. If your golf cart needs repairs, the pros at Dixie Custom Carts can handle the job. Dixie Custom Carts, Greensboro Avenue in Tuscaloosa.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right. I gave a tough one to start it off with. So, did I give an easier one in this second one? Deal, no deal. Alabama has to become a physical run first football team to win the SEC in 2026. This is about offensive identity.
I'll let Simeon go first.
No, I'm going to say no deal. They don't have to. When it comes to being run first, or maybe I'm looking too much into the run first part of it, but no, they don't. Georgia won it last year. They weren't a run first team. And so we made it to the SEC championship game with like a quarter of an offense, not even a full. We didn't have a full pass game, and we didn't have any resemblance of any run game. And so I think with the talent that's on this team, they don't have to be a physical. Well, they need to be physical, but it doesn't have to be run first.
It's all how you read the question, right?
That's right. Now, I was going to say the same thing that Simeon just said, so he and I are on the same page. Because the way you framed the question, I would have to say no deal, because I don't think Alabama has to be a physical run-first team to win the SEC. Missouri and Arkansas was that last year, and they didn't win the SEC. Auburn was fifth in that and didn't win the SEC. So I think definitely Alabama does have to improve their run game. We can't be 13th in the league again this year and compete well. So I would say that we need to improve our run game, but we don't necessarily have to abandon our pass game. That's what Missouri and Arkansas did last year, and it didn't get them anywhere near the SEC championship game.
Quick modification to the question: does Alabama have to have a physically dominant run game to win the SEC? Different question.
Yeah, it's a different question. I would say a deal on that one simply because Alabama, when I think of physically dominant run game, means you can run the ball you can run the ball anytime when you want to run the ball. And I think Alabama needs to add that to their game plan in order to make sure that the run game is always a threat. That makes our passing game even better. But you don't want to abandon the passing game for the run, and you don't want to abandon the run for the pass. You want a well-balanced offense, and the only way to have that is a physical running game where you can run the ball on any down. and be a threat.
Okay, Simeon, I'm going to let you hold potentially your answer to tomorrow. DC, I'm going to modify it one more time. Can Alabama win early if they don't have a physical run first? Do they need this run game to be the water carrier at the beginning of the season, or do you think we can come out with an offense like last year to start the season? Different question.
It is a different question, and I can't. It's hard to answer that question because you don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. Your first question.
You're making assumptions. You have to make the assumption. Whoever your guy is, you have to make it. Can this Alabama team get out of the gates strong and win in the SEC without a physical run game? Will this team be physical run first to start the season? I guess is another way. Deal, no deal.
I'll say deal. I think this team will be physical run first because there's been a lot of emphasis placed on the line of scrimmage this year, on the offensive line and the run game, and I think they'll be able to do that. I think they'll be able to do that out of the gate this year. I think our running game is going to be a lot better.
All right, here's what Jacob Powell had to say. No deal. We don't have to be a run-first team. We just need to have a run game to take pressure off the QBs and keep the defense honest. P. Field says, no deal. I'm okay with pass first, but when we run the ball, we need to be confident and effective, and overall play mix needs to be balanced. Jacob Powell said, need to have an effective run game. Samuel Pittner said, deal. I think we definitely got to be physical in the run game. So he heard physical, not first. Okay. Agree with Simeon. P. Fields agrees with you. Physicality is more important. Corey Lewis says, yes, sir, deal. Jacob Powell says, deal. When I changed the question around, we need to have a physical front line with punishing runners. Offensive line needs to be physical. And P. Fields says, lack of physicality, lack of consistent we can't win consistently without physicality. All right. So, DC, closing thoughts, man.
Well, I think you got some great questions, and I'll go back and say this. You know, this is a good thing that we're having to do these type of shows during this time because really you don't want anything this time of year for us to be having to talk about because normally it's not good news.
That's right. As we've said in the past, DC, when we're not making the content, it's because somebody's gotten in trouble.
That's right. That's right.
So, or transfer portal, and we don't have to worry about that this year.
Don't have to worry about that this year. That's right.
All right, tell them where they can find you, DC.
You can find me at DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page, and at DavidCott50.
All right. Thanks, DC. We'll be back tomorrow. Hey, Simeon, I still have a whole list of questions. You like deal, no deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, deal, no deal is a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll be back on the other side. Glad to have P. Fields back from vacay. Maniacs always get in on the conversation. And remember, if you go throughout your day today, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, and all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.
It's a celebration.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.